talk about the Eagles and the Lions. Which
Mhm.
of those two teams would you most be confident in getting the job done to move on to the Super Bowl?
Yo, this question is you did your thing with this question because this one was kind of hard, man. The thing with the Lions, they've been the most consistent team in the NFL. First of all, every time they play a bad team, they crack them, bro.
Crack, crack.
The games be over by first quarter.
But
Like
yeah,
crack these teams, right? The only thing with the Eagles, for me, the Eagles is a tale of two teams, right? First half of the season, or like let's say the first 4 or 5 games, they struggled with their play calling and coaching, and their secondary was like one of the worst in the NFL. I don't know if they had a team meeting or if somebody had to get punched in their face, but this Eagles team that you see right now ain't the Eagles team from the first 4 weeks. So if I
Mhm.
was to pick which squad I would think represent in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna just go with the Eagles just cause yeah, I'm gonna have to because first of all, their defense is improved
A
dramatically. Like
lot,
you,
a lot.
you got a white cornerback damn near decapitating Derrick Henry, bro. Like right?
Cooper, shout outs to
Yeah,
Cooper.
he broke back the ghost of Jason Sehorn, man. And you got Carter up front, who's wrecking
He's a
havoc.
beast.
He's probably the best at his position right now in the NFL. So then you got Saquon. He's the home run hitter, and he's there to close out games. The way that they use Saquon is how Baltimore should be using Henry, but that's a different conversation. So I'm just looking like this the totality of the teams. The Eagles is playing the best right now, in my opinion. And then Lions had a major injury with Hutchinson. So I think that's going to rear its head somewhere or another. So as of right now, I'm going to just go with the Eagles. And they've been there
Hmm.
before, 2 seasons ago.
True. This is true. Wow, that again, I asked the question and I didn't even have the answer, but I've
Yeah.
been consistent per Twitter debates that the Lions, this is just I just think it's their year. They're coming back for blood. Like after losing to the 49ers in the championship game last year, I think Dan Campbell told them dudes, we coming back in. We're not feeling that feeling again of losing, coming up short, at least getting to the Super Bowl. I think it's the Lions. And the reason why is part of what you said. Offensively, it's like Saquon, Saquon, more Saquon. Not saying they don't have other players
Mhm.
because they have AJ Brown is a top receiver. Devontae Smith, who's been hurt the last few weeks, that's something I'm starting to get concerned about because one, he dealt with a bad concussion earlier this year, and now he's missed like the last 3 games to injury, and we're not even sure what the injury is. They're just like he keeps being not at practice, and then they're like he's going to try to play, and then he doesn't play. So I don't know how healthy he is and how healthy he will be by the time the playoffs come around in a few weeks. But I just think once you I think in the playoffs it gets harder to have a running back dominate, not be good, but dominate the way he is when that's been your formula all year. So when the teams start to say, okay, we're anybody but Saquon, can they do it? And we know they could do it in the past, like you said, but this is an entirely different built team. Like they're not built for Jalen to be dropping back 20, 30 times anymore. Like he's barely, and this is why a lot of people are talking crap about him because he's barely like putting up crazy passing numbers, but it's like he doesn't have to. Like he's doing
Yeah.
what he needs to be doing. He's playing great quarterback right now. I like the Lions in the playoffs because I think to beat them, you're going to have to score 30 points. Can the Eagles score 30 points in Detroit?
Right.
You're going to have to score. And the
So
Eagles
so
probably have
you
the
so
better
you,
defense.
but you don't
Go ahead.
think the past 7 games that the Eagles, I feel like they've been putting up 30 a game.
But who have they have? Yes, I'm not even going to diminish who they've played. I guess what I want to ask is which offense have they played that could combat them the way Detroit can. Maybe Baltimore, Baltimore puts up a lot of points,
Mhm.
but it seemed like Baltimore didn't have a game plan. Like they
Yeah,
seemed
yeah.
like they were just out there playing football without a specific game plan of because they started out fast. Like the first drive, they marched down
Nine
the
zip.
field easy,
Yeah.
got a field goal, and then they came back down the field. They were up 6-0. Like they were up
9 zip. I think they won
nine
nine
zip.
zip. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And then they just kind of went into the wind and just started floating, away. And Philly stuck with what they did. Saquon wasn't having success early running the ball. They said, nope, we're going to keep running the ball because that's what we do well, which is to your point of, how the Baltimore Ravens should use Derrick Henry. It seems like anytime Henry doesn't get any legitimate 4 or 5 yard
Traction.
runs,
Yeah.
they kind of go away from it and start passing the ball. Um, can like the pressure that Detroit's gonna put, and it's not just like they score a point; it's how they do it. They'll hit home runs, and then fourth down, like
Yeah,
Dan Campbell's not looking to punt or kick. He don't want field goals. He wants to bury you. Can
but
Philly keep up in
but
a
in the,
shootout?
but they've shown it because, like I said, 2 seasons ago they were in the Super Bowl. So if both of these teams, I don't know how the playoff structure would happen. Would both of them face off in the NFC Championship game?
They well, if essentially for if Philly wins and Detroit wins, they would be the last two teams standing. It's not like by
Oh,
seeding right now. They are the top two seeds, so they wouldn't see each other until the chip.
okay, so like hypothetically, if they both make it to the chip, you have one team that's been there before, the other one who blew it last season. I'm more inclined to go with the team that's been in that tough situation. And look, like we just said, he's not passing for crazy numbers, but when you do stack the box against Saquon, you still do got AJ Brown and Smith and Goddard, and they've been there before. So, like, at the end of the day, that has to account for something.
Yeah, I think yeah, it counts for something. I wouldn't be surprised if Philly got there. I'm going off of what I've seen all year, the consistency that Detroit has literally been, like you said, scorching from week one. They've been putting up 30 points. They've been putting up 42.
Yeah,
They've been doing it all year. So I think that pattern I trust more. And I think if it comes down to coaching, I like Dan Campbell. I like his brash. I like how he can exude confidence in his players. And again, the the Lions take up, like the Eagles do this well too. They take up long drives, which kills
yeah,
your momentum. But the
yeah.
Lions, like they take out, not many off teams could take out Montgomery and bring in Gibbs. Like it's hard to guard that team, bro. And they still haven't like fully clicked on offense, I don't think. Because their tight end, who's an all pro tight end, still hasn't really like gone crazy as much as he can.
I don't even think there's like a wrong answer to this question.
Right. There's not a wrong
There's,
answer. It's
yeah,
all about what you think. Right. There's not a wrong answer. But I think that's likely the scenario. I do think the one team that Philly don't want to see on the way to potentially facing off Detroit is the Packers. I've been saying this all year. The
yeah,
Packers are going to be hell for anybody come playoff time, bro. Like the way that their defense is playing and the way that, they just will themselves. And even when Jordan Love doesn't play well, they find a way to beat good teams. So
yeah.
this Thursday is going to be popping with Detroit and the Packers. This is going to be popping because last time they were in Lambeau,
Yep.
Amon-Ra St. Brown was wild.
Yeah,
And
our,
he
our boy Adam is gonna be at that game.
really,
Yeah,
oh, that's dope. That's dope. So that game's gonna probably maybe define the division and the one seed. If Philly keeps winning, Philly might be able to scoot right past those guys battling each other out because they still both got to play Minnesota one more time too. So Philly just has to keep winning, and I think they have a good chance of doing that.